Wow. Okay. Before I go with the reaction, I'm sorry if I didn't do the Oregon Duck reaction or any college football reaction. I mean, the win of Oregon was sweet and all, but it was not really nothing to really react to about. Should have done the Notre Dame game. But let's talk about this one. First of all, Wilson. 4 turnovers by Wilson. This is by far his worst game. And I would not have any doubt that this Bills team studied the Cardinal game. They basically kept blitzing Russell. Now, the Seahawks did not have Carlos Hyde or Chris Carson, and they did lose 2 offensive linemen in this game. Okay, fine. I understand. Your offense struggled. But my God, this team, it did not do well. It just overall did terrible. It's true. They did terrible. Not just offensively, but defensively. I'm going to say it for the 1 billionth time. And I've been saying it. I've been saying it since week 1. You got to get your secondary better. I don't care if you're like, what? Ninth best against the run. I don't care. You know what that means? They're going to pass. You know the Seahawks secondary is ranked 32nd. You're ranked 32nd best against the pass. Are you kidding me? How can you win a Super Bowl like that? I'm not saying Josh Allen is bad, and somehow this defense got 7 sacks. And it was good to see Jamal back. But still, this game was an excellent example of why you need to get a new defensive coordinator and bring back Dan Quinn as your defensive coordinator. Norton Jr., what has he done? What has he done for the Seahawks in the last 3 years? The last 3 years, or 3 seasons, we should say. What has the Seahawks defense been doing? I remember the hype that the secondary people were talking about. The next Legion of Boom. The next LOB. Quentin Dunbar. Keem Griffin. Jamal Adams. Diggs. And yet they're 32nd. And look at the time possession. Buffalo just, outbeating them. And they get the pass. Josh Allen outbeat Russell Wilson. And 4 turnovers. But what did this game prove also? It does prove that the Bills are legit. This was a statement win for Buffalo. In Seattle, the wins are so far not impressive. You look now where teams they have beaten. What's their records now? The only team they've played, and at the time they had a 500 or above 500, was the Niners. And the Niners may not make the playoffs. So far, and Dallas ain't making the playoffs either. But so far, you are 0-2 against teams with winning records that are right now in this season. That's pathetic. That how does that give people your attention? How does that make you any better to be called Super Bowl contenders? Russell Wilson, I got you. He is a great quarterback, and he just had his worst game. Many teams with MVP quarterbacks, the quarterbacks will always have that one bad game. Even though this time he's had 2 bad games. This one was worse because they just couldn't do anything. They really couldn't just do anything. Secondary, nothing. Defense of line, getting Josh Allen, sure. But overall, this game, props to the Bills. The Bills just outbeat Seattle. That's all. That's literally everything. They outbeat them in defense. They outbeat them in offense. And once again, you need improvement of your secondary. Now, like I said before, there was no Hyder or Carson. Even when those guys did come back, do they really make that big of a difference? Despite what the offensive line did this season? I mean, not this season, this game. I don't think it would. And guess what? Your next two opponents are the Rams, who you've had problems against over the years. It's the one team Russell Wilson has problems with. And then the Cardinals, who've already beaten you. These next 2 weeks are not going to be easy. And by the time this video is uploaded, if the Cardinals win, the Seahawks drop to 7 or 6 seed. One of those 2 seeds. And the Packers, I believe, would be number 1 at this time. I'm not sure, but still. It's an embarrassment. This game was an embarrassment. There's just nothing to say about there. Just an embarrassing game. And just hopefully we find a miracle, a way to beat Los Angeles. Just find some way. Just gotta hope. And the Rams have their bye week, so they'll be probably healthy. And there won't be any crowd. I mean, there was no crowd, but overall, crowds don't matter at this point. It's all about who's really a better team with no fan base. That's basically what this is. And clearly, Buffalo became the better team today against us. But hopefully they bounce back next week and beat the Rams. I'm not saying they will, or I'm counting on it. Do I think they will? Maybe, but still, we'll see what happens. We'll see. So Seahawks lose this one 44-34. They drop to 6-2. And I'm telling you, after these next 2 games, well, it's just gotta help you play better.